Well, it's a sunny day in Indiana, and a good day to get the Cadillac back from the shop. Yes, that's right, it was back in the shop again, but this time for just a little over a week, which maybe its shortest stay in the car shop ever. Had a little fun. One of the things I've been chasing on this car has been the brake system. I had the brake booster rebuilt by the seller when I got it, and it was still losing vacuum. Didn't really have a lot of power assist, and had it rebuilt again about 2 years ago, and seemed to be a little better. But again, when it was in the shop with these other guys doing a bunch of the more extensive work, they said you're really not getting a lot of power assist. It's still not holding vacuum. And I called that guy who rebuilt it for me, and he doesn't actually work for the shop. He was just sort of a guy they brought in to do it. And basically he's busy, and he said he's not going to take a look at it again. So I figured, okay, I'll just take it back to the guys down south who've been doing such good work with it. And literally the day I was on the phone with the guy who rebuilt it, I was driving my kids home from summer camp. Had my mother-in-law in the passenger seat. She had driven one of these, her mother's car, back in 1959. And happy little family. And coming home, brakes went out on me completely. Lost all brake pressure. Brake pedal went straight to the floor. Nothing. Needless to say, it was pretty scary. It actually happened. You can see through those trees there, right over there, the entrance to my subdivision. And we took that corner at about 25 miles an hour. Luckily, these cars are so wide and heavy and low that there wasn't much chance of flipping. But finally had to make a decision of what to do, which, as far as I could see, I had two choices. I had not tested out the emergency brake, or parking brake, if you will. It's been on my to-do list, just because if you ever had old cars, like on my Mustang, the parking brake if you try and push it down, it won't come back up. A lot of common thing that happen with old cars is the parking brake, emergency brake, will get stuck, and then you can't get it back out. So it was on my to-do list, pretty low priority item, but suddenly became a very high priority item. So my choices were to do that, or put the gear shift up into park and turn my transmission into junk. I figured I'd try this all happened in about 5 seconds. I figured I'd try option one first. Fortunately, the parking brake did work. Got it to the shop. Pretty simple issue, which was that the brake line ruptured, and I had no brake system. The brake line had actually been, the brakes had been bled and new brake lines put in when I bought the car, so they said these look pretty new, so we're not really sure why it ruptured. But the brakes are working again. Again, the vacuum for the booster is not much there, so it's not really giving you a whole lot of assist. It's basically like driving a car with manual brakes. You're basically using the strength in your leg to stop the car. So that brings up the question of upgrading the brake system to what they call this old-fashioned, I believe it's single circuit. They want to put in a double circuit, and it's very expensive, and I'm not really in a spot to dump a lot of money into this car. So we were going to have to just abide with these brakes the way they are. Funny thing, like I said, this car was in the shop for a total of 8 days, something like that, and it was all nice and clean. And they did agree to keep it inside for me after that issue you saw with the previous video with the chrome getting all dingy. But boy, look at how dirty it got being in the shop for just over a week. Isn't that crazy? You're gonna have to wash this car again. Look at that. Isn't that ridiculous? Alright, what can I say? Let's go for a little drive. Oh, look at that nice steering wheel and horn ring. So pleased with that. If nothing else that's been going on with this car. I haven't driven it in a few hours, so it starts right up. Now here's, oh boy, look at this. Look at greasy mechanic paw marks. Oh god, guys. Boy, that's just ridiculous. I mean, I realize that'll come right off, but How do you do that and not notice it or put gloves on? Whatever. So I've been told, telltale sign if your brake booster is losing vacuum. So I've got the car here in idle. Is you step on the brake pedal and it'll seem like the revs will go up a little bit. So give that a little try. Probably how well you can hear that, but yeah, letting go, and you can see, and it comes back down. So we're definitely not getting full brake assist. Maybe a little bit. I mean, when you press it, there's like that little bit of mush that you normally get with power brakes before it engages, but to really get some good braking power, you kind of have to press down a little bit. But I mean, like I say, I learned to drive on a manual brakes car, so I'm kind of used to it. It's not that big of a deal to me. I think for safety concerns, it's probably a pretty good idea to take my mechanic's advice and upgrade this to the more modern braking system at some point, but I'm not exactly sure when that will be. Maybe it's August as I'm recording this. Maybe later this year, maybe in the spring. I don't know. We'll have to see how things go. But anyway, that's the latest update on the Cadillac. I do have working brakes and working emergency brakes. You can see them down there should I need to engage them again. Hopefully not in that situation. But anyway, more fun with the Cadillac. I'm hoping to just drive and enjoy the car for the rest of the summer and fall, and probably not do anything to it. And we'll take the next steps. Old car living. Bye-bye.